just doing a bit more work on the, start on the underside of the bonnet, to basically get it ready to put on the car so I can start doing all this body work and body filler and all that sort of stuff. Because basically at that point I'm at, I'm just getting every bit and piece sort of sorted. So basically, I've treated this for the rust, but I haven't cleaned it off yet. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to sit here and scuff this all back again and get rid of all this. So it's got like a yellowy sort of coating on it at the moment. And where I've done all the modification with this, I'm going to come around here and put a bit of body filler in here and just blend it all in so it looks nice, and it's not going to be thick or anything, just enough to put a nice little rounded bead in around here, so at least look halfway decent along the back. So just blend it all in. So yeah, and then I don't think there's any other major dents or damage on the underside of here. Nothing really worth bugging around with, or spending time putting body filler in, but just where I've done that modification. And the only other thing I'll have to do is I've got to, hopefully in the next week or so, depending on excess materials and funds, I've got to sort out and try and make a we call it hood scoop. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do there. So once I get this on the car, I won't go crazy with the body work until I figure out and get a hood scoop made and fitting. So that's sort of my next step, is get this sanded back and then start putting some mud in here and get that sanded, and then I can blow with I'll get a coat of etch in here and then get primer on it and all that sort of stuff. So that's all I've got to do now. So I'll get to it. So that's probably enough of me scuffing that back for a minute. I'll just give you a quick shot. So yeah, so it's all that yellowy sort of shit on there. I suppose you can sort of see that. Unfortunately, this sort of that rust anti-ox stuff does work, but this is when I didn't put it on full strength, and I think you'd have to actually really clean this back hard and then put it on. Like, I am reasonably impressed with the stuff, but I think like you'd have to actually get in there and actually clean this back fairly hard with something reasonably angry for a start off, to try and get the worst of it off. I actually should have just cleaned it up and then put it over top, and I've left this for probably a good couple of weeks since I put it on. So yeah, it's like one of those bloody things, like, to be honest, I don't know if I probably would use it again, but I don't think I'd use it on stuff that's been rusty a long time. Yeah, it's sort of a hard one, like, to be honest. Oh, I'll just pause this and turn the phone around so I can sort of see what I'm doing. Yeah, like this Antiox, I think really, like, probably, like, sandblasting is all good too, but like, you can do a lot of damage to steel if you don't know what you're doing. Probably the best method, if you can get hold of one, or some place that's got one, is dipping, like dip a panel, and that just cleans everything up. And get them to prep it and clean it, and then put an etch primer on it or something, or a sealer. Like, yeah, because like this Antiox is good. Like, I reckon if you're using fairly clean steel and then just wanted to treat it before you, so you make sure you don't get any flashback or anything like that, I think it'd be fine. But I probably should have used this full strength. But from what I sort of read on the instructions, said you could thin it down and still use it in bits and pieces. But maybe a 50-50 might have been alright. But I've got this down reasonably thin by this point, because I really probably should have more than a litre. But I was just not used to using it either too. But so yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bit more cleanup on this before I do put etch and everything on it. I might have to run around with the DA again, and maybe one of those little roll lock sanding discs, and just hit this a bit harder and give it a bit more of a bit of cleanup. And hopefully, I actually thought it might have made it the rust a bit more black, but maybe with me sanding it off, it probably stopped what was on top. And yeah, I don't know. Rust is a fucking pain in the ass when it's sort of never been sort of treated properly from the manufacturers. But yeah. Anyway, I'll carry on and get this cleaned up, and yeah, we'll get to it later on. Cheers. Alrighty, so let's do a quick update on here. So I've got this pretty much clean back now, between the use of wire wheels and on grinders and drills and a bit of sandpaper here and there. I'm just giving it a blow off now. I'm going to try and get this off, because it's been welded on there. It did have the head on it, but I tried to see if I could wind it out, but it broke off. I managed to get the bolt out of there. That would weak. But I want to try and get this fixed off so I can get it removable, so I can get in here and get this frickin' nut off this base. Hopefully I can get a socket down in there that I can get it off with. So I'm just going to sneak around here with a cutting wheel and just see if I can lightly get this down, and same on here, and see if I can get this thing off. And then I'll weld a nut or something on here and try and get it undone. Hopefully with the heat of the welding it on, I'll better get that free. So yeah, that's what I'll try and do before I get this all sort of smoothed out and cleaned up on here. See if I can get this bloody thing off and get that bolt out, so I can get that nut out for the base of the hood ornament that I don't have. Alrighty, I'll get back to you shortly. So I did get it off, but unfortunately I broke it out. I'm trying to break it free. So I ripped the actual nut out of there. So I'm hoping I might be able to sit another nut in there, put like a bolt in it, and get it in there gently and weld it in. And dress this up and clean it up and get it free again. And see if I can get a bolt, something to wind into that, and try and get it to work. But now it's I can get down in there. I've only just got to tidy this up and clean it up. I'll hit it with the flappy wheel to start off and dress all this up and get it all cleaned up, and then yeah, I'll get in here and I'll weld a nut in. See if I can. I don't even care if it's metric, to be honest, at the moment. I just want to get it sorted and fixed. So yeah, we'll get something welded back in there and make something work. Alrighty, I'll come back to you shortly. Possibly maybe welding or maybe afterwards. We'll see what happens. Cheers. Alrighty guys, so what I've got going on here is found a couple of bolts. I'm just using this big long one to hold the nuts in while I weld them in. I'm going to put one in here, and I'm going to get this out of here too, and I'm going to, so I've got the same bolt in there, and I've got another nut that I can weld in there that's the same thread. Not the same nut, but it's the only ones I could sort of find that were the same thread, so I'll weld that in there, and then I'll open this up and I'll weld that one in there, and then I'll just have to enlarge these holes a little bit. I might actually put a wee bit extra weld around that, just to give it a little bit more guts. I might just run a bead of weld around it and then grind it up again, just give it a little bit more guts, because the hole's going to be opened up a bit, obviously. But yeah, I was struggling to find nuts to fit something that was a bit smaller. I'm guessing that was probably what was in it originally, probably a little bit longer. They would have wound in there and there. Obviously a little bit longer, but yeah, I just wanted to find something that had a little bit more guts in it that I could weld in there. And dress her up. So I'll get it welded, I'll get it tacked in and welded in anyway, and I'll show you what's going on, and then I'll open up some holes and test fit it, and then I'll do the mud on the inside of there and get some etch and stuff and bits and pieces and everything on it, and get it bolted on the car hopefully this afternoon. There'll be another job down. So then I've got to work half a day tomorrow, and then I've got another 2.5 days of hopefully body filler and sanding with a big long block until we can get some, see if we can get this thing smoothed out, get rid of all these little, well, not all these little, but all the humps and hollows and dents and stuff that are, yeah, like I've got it basically straight. The panels are well, I'd say they're reasonably lined up and reasonably straight, but there's still a lot of damage that would just take forever if you sat there and hammered and dollied and all that sort of stuff out. Like, yeah, you would be there forever trying to get it, every panel perfect. It's just had too much damage over the years. But I've got it good enough that it's going to be a skim. Like, there's going to be the odd little thick area here and there, but it's not going to be massive. It's only just going to be in like just small areas, you know, where there's a bit of a crease or still not 100% in the right shape, because it's awkward to get into, you know. But like, you know, it's going to go from maybe a mil thick in most places to, you know, maybe a little bit in just spots. You know, you're going to have like little areas that maybe, I don't know, so maybe that big or a little bit less, you know, that you can hand out with a bit of an area. So that's, you know, there's a few spots like that. It's going to be a little bit of a thick bit in there, but it's not as like that thick everywhere like it used to be. So, well, hopefully it doesn't end up like that. So I'll get this welded in, and then we'll see what we can do with that one. Weld in there, dress it up, and then yeah, we'll probably get some etch on it. I'll just go around. I'll just give some of these the rustier spots another scuff over, and I'll wipe down with some wax and grease remover, and we'll get some etch on it. Let that cure up, and then we'll mud up around where that bonnet scoop hole is going to be, and then hopefully in the next week or so I'll get some panel steel and work out what I'm going to do and make up a bonnet scoop for it. Alright, I'll carry on. A little update on here. I've got this one welded in, got the holes on this opened up. I put a little bit extra meat just on the end of that. I think it should be plenty of guts around the outside. If I ever have any problems, I'll just maybe put a little bit of build up on the outside edge or something like that. And I actually bolted this hard down with that bolt in there, and then made sure that was fitting in flush. So now I'm going to weld this in, but I'll leave this big long bolt in here, at least then I don't end up with any mistakenly getting any weld down in the freaking hole. So I can just leave that in there. That's why I'm left using a nice long bolt. So that should be good and strong by the time I weld that in there. Hopefully there's enough irradiate penetration, then I'll just grind it off flat. So that should be good. Yeah, and yeah, just a little bit of filler in here just to dress up any little bits and pieces I've got in there. So yeah, so that's coming along nicely, and that I end up using metric bolts, but I don't give a shit. Like, well, I do, but at least they sort of match. So like they don't look 100% right, but they similar sort of style end. Like they're not just a flat end or anything like that. I'm not sure what they're like 12mm head. There must be like a 6mm, 6mm bolt or whatever they are. 5 or 6mm, I'm guessing. Not really sure. They're off the Toyota, I know that much. I think that's what they're off the little red Corolla I had. So that'll be good. I'll get that in there, weld that in, clean it up, and yeah, and then we can move on to tidying some stuff up. And I'll see if I can get this bloody nut out of here because I haven't done that yet. But yeah, alright guys, get back to it. Give you another update shortly. Tell you what, getting in here wasn't very easy because it's an inch size nut in there, and all I could get through there for a start off, well, I think was 7/8. That's all I could get in there. That's all the hole would allow. So what I did is I got a punch and a hammer, and I just keep working backwards and forwards on each side to try and open that fucking hole up so I can get the socket in there. So now, like, it's tight, but I can get it in there now, and it's loose. I got it off, but it's pulled the thread when I took it off, so I don't even know if I'm going to get that back on there successfully. Hopefully, maybe. My other thought was when I make something up to fit in the centre, I might make something that can come down and push down and clamp on it with the bolt that comes through. Make something that slides over top and just clamps it down and holds it down with the centrepiece instead. I'll work something out, because I just don't know if I'm going to get that back on there successfully without destroying it, because I haven't got any taps with dies that are even close to that size. But anyway, at least I got it off. At least I can finish cleaning out the bonnet and doing whatever and sort this mess out. All good. How you going, everybody? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's for today, last night, whenever you're going through New Year's. So yeah, like, been trying to get this bonnet and get this car sort of together over the last few days. I've sort of been struggling a bit. Just with everything sort of going on and a bit of the extra heat that's been going on, and I'm having sort of semi going on health, I wouldn't say health problems, but just gut problems, just with foods. Just in recent times I'll be getting bound up, and just with, I think it's bread that's mainly doing it, but I think there's other things too. But so I'm just trying to get my head around that and trying to figure out what causes problems and what doesn't. In my financial situation, just with not being able to buy probably the best foods to get by on each week with the four of us, doesn't help sometimes either. Sometimes you just can't afford to buy all the best of everything, and being able to go back to the shop to get extra stuff. So sometimes you got to buy stuff that lasts a bit longer, and it's probably not so good to eat, instead of having more ready available fresh stuff. So I don't think that helps me either. But anyway, been sort of getting this bonnet done. I'm almost finished getting the inside of this sorted out. I was hoping to get it done yesterday, but I keep running out of energy because of what's going on, and because my gut blows up too, I end up with a sore back. When I get bloated, I start putting pressure on my back and I get sore and all those sorts of stupid things. So hopefully I can get that sorted shortly. And also, like, it gives me shit sleep too if I end up bloated at night, when I end up still bloated in the morning. So yeah, I'm really trying to figure out, get my head around all that crap. But anyway, we'll get out of that now. So yeah, been doing this bonnet. I'm just about finished. I've just made the last little piece of body filler in places where it needed it. I've had about 3 or 4 guys around here just trying to build it up slowly so I don't end up with a whole heap of real awkward shit to try and sand off. And just because it's such little fiddly bits and pieces, I'll show you in a second. I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you. Yeah, it's taken me a while to get it right and get it sanded, and where I'm happy with it, and trying to get everything sort of looking sort of reasonably uniform before I put, you know, 2 or 3 good coats of body filler on it, especially around where I've done the blending in of that opening. And I'll put a little, the first little bit on where I repaired the bonnet latch bit the other day. I think I had that in my last video, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. I have to double check that before I put this up. So you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so yeah, I've been trying to get this bonnet sorted because I want to get it back on the car. And I need to get the boot lid lined up, which I can probably swing that around and show you. Oh, you can't really see because of the sun. Yeah, but I've got it on there, but it's not lined up. It's all sitting up in the corners and shit like that. I just sort of bolted on the other day to get it out of the road, to try and give me some more bloody room in the shed. So I can do a bit of filling and stuff in here, sort of out of the heat, or direct heat from the sun. So now I've sort of, actually I'll pause this and I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you a bit better. So yeah, I've cleared quite a bit of area around with having all the panels off, and I've got rid of a bit of other stuff out of here, so at least now when I push it back I can sort of work on sections reasonably easy, sort of both sides. You know, this shed could do to be another couple of feet wider, or 3 feet wide would be really nice. Then I can probably open things right up and work on it a bit easier in here. But it is what it is, and so that's is. But yeah, see, as you can see, like I've got to get this trunk lid all lined up. We pretty much just threw it on there and threw the bolts in it and put the lock on it and made sure it closed just to get it out of the road. Hopefully today I'll spend half an hour or so and start getting this lined up, and we'll start smearing some filler on the rest of it. But this is the inside of the bonnet, or the hood, depending on where you are in the world. Anyway, yeah, I've just put a little bit extra in here, just trying to smooth it out with my finger as I'm going, and trying to get, you know, so I got the least amount of sanding possible. You know, I just had a few little pinholes in here and just not quite enough in some spots. And the same in around here. Trying to show you, like, that's a shit of an area. Try to blend it in that way, over the top of that ridge. Plus I got all these pieces. Now probably if I was really clever and thought about it, I probably could have made some extra bits of this and had it round here. You know, that was probably, could have been an afterthought. But shit, like, you know, how far do you go? Maybe if I was doing a real high-end building, I was going to spend the next 3 years doing it. And getting it really, really, really sweet, and, you know, like unpick panels and hammer and dolly all these little stupid dents out of this thing, where it's been just the poor old thing's been used and abused. You know, like I probably would have went to that level and made extra little pieces around here and actually made it look more factory, but I just wanted to blend it in to make it look clean and tidy. So hopefully by the time I get this little bit, last bit sanded off, and I'll blow a couple of coats over the major of it, but I'll blow probably an extra 2 or 3 around here, just to give it a bit more material, just to give it a rub back and hopefully come up nicely. So yeah, and then I'll put that little bit on there. So I've just got to, now it's probably about right time to do it, is just run a knife or something around in those bolt holes and pick that plug out, and then just run the bolt in and out of there a couple of times before I, you know, sort of let it get too hard, and so it's a bitch to get out. So while I think about that, I might just try and see if I can flick that out now. I'll find a screwdriver or something. I'll pause it and I'll come back, so I'm not darting all over the place with the camera. Right. I'll try and hold this and do this at the same time. So I've got a drill bit might do. Actually, it's probably just a bit hardened up too much, is it? Been talking too bloody long. And I've done this twice, this video. Yeah, I'll get this out of here anyway. See if we can get this out. Bugger, I did leave it spent almost too long. I'll get it out, but I was going to try and do it when it was still setting up, but figure out. I'll get it out of there. Still not that hard yet, but it's starting to get there. And that one there. Anyway, I get the picture, so I'll pause this and I'll clean this up now before I freaking get myself in the poop. Alright, so that's the holes opened up and sanded off. You know, I might just run around there a little bit and just chamfer that off a little bit. And same with that bit, just give it a bit of a sand up and clean up. So you need, at least now that'll be good to go with a bit of primer on it, and just last a little tight out around the holes and bits and pieces. But now I'll give that a bit of a sand up. Some 80. I won't go back to 40 now, I don't think. I'll just try and stick with 80, see if I can get it to blend out with 80. But sometimes I'm trying to sand down big, heavy friggin' bits. So yeah, I'm just trying to tidy it up. So yeah, I'll get back to you shortly. I've got bugger and to do a little bit of me sanding, so here I am. Fresh one. Right, a little bit clearer. Sorry about the jingly chains there. This on now. A bit cooler earlier on. Yeah. Oh, there's a cup of coffee ready for me, so I'll come back shortly. Righty, just another quick wee update. So I've just blown a coat of primer on here. Probably the bulk of it, probably a couple, 3 coats, and I just sort of laid it in around the this repair area or the modification area. Oh, and I've probably got 4 or 5 coats on there, maybe a bit more. So I'll just let that harden up now, and then I might blow another. I'll let it cure. I'll cure off for, I don't know, maybe to later on tonight, and I might blow another 3 or 4 coats on there. Just mix up a bit and just blow it around there a few more times. Just get a bit more of a build on it, and then I'll rub it out at some point and just see where I'm sitting at. because there is a few little marks and pinholes and bits and pieces in it. But I'll try and see if I can fill the bulk of it with paint. And then when I, because I haven't got any spot putty or glazing putty at the moment, so when I get some, then I can come along and just touch any other little bits up that I've missed. Because I'm still trying to get my technique right for mixing that body filler. I watched a few videos and I realised that I've been one of these guys that's been mixing it wrong for a long time and getting air bubbles in it. Didn't realise, there's a certain technique to not try and get air bubbles in it, and I'm still getting air bubbles in it. So, but it's just time, I guess, and I'm trying to improve. Like everything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I'm pretty sure when I get over there, RK's probably got a few tips, but hopefully we're not using a lot of body filler. And unless we're getting cars that are fairly heavily rough like this, and you're trying to, sometimes there's not a lot you can do. You can get it as straight as possible, but sometimes you just got to put a bit of body filler on it. But it'd be nice not to have to. But I'm pretty happy with that now. Let that harden up, and then we'll get another 2 or 3 coats on it later on today, and we'll go from there. The wind's coming up nicely, just to be annoying. Righty.